Good morning, it's December 8th today. 8th? I believe it's December 8th. It's a Saturday. Anyway, it's a beautiful minus 14 degrees Celsius outside right now. That is 6 degrees Fahrenheit. With the wind chill, it feels like minus 23. That would be minus 10 Fahrenheit. Inside the bus right now, I don't have the heater on. I'll be turning it on very shortly, but I have a digital thermometer. And I'm going to point it at the wall here. I don't know if you can see that. It says minus 16.9 Celsius. Let's try somewhere else over here. Minus 19.5. Yeah, let's see if I can get rid of the light. No. There you go. I don't think you can see that either. Either way, minus 20 Celsius is minus 20 Celsius is minus 4 Fahrenheit without the wind. That's how cold it is in here right now. And as you can tell, and as you can see, I did a little bit of, I'm not going to say cleaning up, I did some sorting out. Built these little shelves in the back so I can have my tools and wires and stuff like that ready to go. Before I turn on the heat though, I'm going to redo some of my wiring. I bought these blue butt splices. They're a little bigger in size, so they'll accommodate the larger wires. Because as you can see, I believe it's over here. Yeah, I had problems getting the wire into place. Right there. So it's not sitting properly. So I'm going to take all these apart and I'm going to redo them. Same thing with these. I don't like the way, I said earlier I wasn't going to put morettes on them. I changed my mind. I'm going to moret them. Even though it is only temporary, like within the next day or two, I'll be switching all these out because I'll have the strapping on the ceiling. But anyway, I'm freezing cold right now. I have to get this done. I have the bus plugged in because I have to move the bus over a few feet so my brother can have access to his entire driveway. So I have that plugged in, I have the battery charging, and I'm rambling because it's cold, so I'm shutting up now. I'll see you in a bit when I have the wires reconnected and the furnace going. See you shortly. So let's try this again. Apparently the first time around I was only talking to myself. I hit the on button for the camera, but I didn't hit it the second time for record. So, to summarize. I took a length of, is that all the way back? Yeah, that's all the way back. I took a length of my 1x2 wood here, and I found out the point to where, holy man, that is bright. Let's see if I can adjust that then bring it back. There we go. So I took a length of my 1x2 wood and I measured it to this point. So this way I can have it just like this over top of my seatbelt bracket. I'm going to take this 1x2 wood and take it all the way to the end of the bus there, or as far as I can get, and put a pencil line at the same height. Then I'm going to take my chalk line and I'm going to chalk along the top. I know what you're thinking. Why don't I just take this 1x2 wood and just put it at every location like this, make a pencil mark, and that's what I cut the wood at. The problem with doing that is if The problem with doing that is if the floor is warped at all. If it's higher at one point and lower at another point, then I'll have a wavy wall. I don't want to have a wavy wall. So I'll do that on this wall. On this wall, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the exact same piece of wood, even though I'll be putting 2x2s on this side. And then I'll do the exact same thing on this side. Because this way, both walls will be equal heights. And the reason I'm putting 2x2s on this wall and 1x2s on this wall is the one that has all the kitchen cabinets, countertops, and things like that, so I need a slightly deeper space for plugs. This wall, not so much. So I'll set you up in the back of the bus as I usually do. Or is it the front of the bus I usually do? Well, this time it's the back of the bus. Then I'll make my marks, do a chalk line on this side, do the same thing on this side. Then we can start cutting up some lumber and strapping out for the second layer. And sorry for the noisy furnace, but as you can tell, no more jackets. It's hard to determine what the temperature is because the temperature gun, thermometer gun, whatever you want to call it, on the floor it registers at, I think it was 4 Celsius, and at the ceiling it was registering at around 18. So it's hard to say what it really is in here. So I apologize for the noise, and eventually it will kick off. I do have it connected to a thermostat. Anyway, now we're at the front of the bus. I was going to set you up at the back, but there's just no room to where you'd see the entire wall. So you're at the front of the bus and you can see the entire wall that I worked on. Was that even proper English? I don't know. Somebody's bound to comment on it. Anyway, let's get you set up and get going. Well, that didn't quite work out as well as I hoped. I have to clean up where I'm going to be chalking the line. So I'll just do a little bit of quick cleanup here and we'll snap that line again. Forget the chalk line method. It would have worked well if I had a nice flat surface here, but this is all wavy. I'm gonna have to just take that stick and mark at each rib. It was a good idea in theory. Should have known better. So that's the second side done. I think I'll infill around the windows first. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'll have to take the plastic off a little. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna infill around the windows first. Which view would work better for you guys? I did that back way? Oh, this is so disorienting. Well, I did the back window. Wow, I'm getting dizzy here. So I did the back window. Or you, I think you're looking at over here. Then I still have the middle one to do, then I still have this one to do. So I'll put you in the back of the bus. And get the cutting around the windows, then I'll take measurements for the pieces I need for the ribs. So let's get these set up properly and I get the cutting. I'll take measurements and everything first so you don't have to watch me measuring everything. That sounds like an easier plan. Not as boring, I think. Anyway, let's get to there. All the pieces are cut, so now let's see how they fit. Sorry about that, I was interrupted by my brother. He actually had good timing this time since I finished what I could do with the lumber. I ran into a small problem with the curve of the bus. I'll show you what I'm talking about. As I bang and bop you all over the place. As you can see, I'm pressing, actually you can't see it because I'm a little lower, there we go. I'm pressing as hard as I can up here, where my finger is, but there's still the gap here. I'll get a smaller piece of lumber. So, what we do here, it's called kerfing. I can see, well, not really since you're in the way, but I want to put a notch here, a notch here. So this way, when I cut this out with my skill saw, the wood will bend with the curve of the bus. So, get you upright. My skill saw blade is set to nearly the maximum depth. Actually, I'm going to take that just a little more. I almost want the skill saw blade to go through the lumber. So this way, there's less material for the... there's less material to bend, but it still stays in place. Holy crap, you guys are leaning down. So now, I'll just take my skill saw. Get you back up to level. Lean you against the wall again. Now before, we had this problem. Can you really see that? That doesn't look like much, but it is quite a bit. Now with curved lumber, hopefully you can see how it bends into place. So if I was to put a screw right here, it would hold. And that's what kerfing does. It makes it so the lumber is more flexible. If you have a sharper curve, like, you can see that? Nope, you can't see that. If you have a sharper curve like the way this is going to be, you want to put your cuts closer together so it can bend more. And since this is such a fun thing to do, I'll do it off camera, and then I'll put the pieces in place and show you what it looks like afterwards. The lumber is cut and in place. Let's take a look. So now you can see how this has a nice curve to it. If this breaks off, it's nothing major. I'm still putting plywood over top of this, so it's all okay. This one, same thing. It has a nice gradual curve to it. The one thing to look out for when doing curves though is if you have them too far apart, the lumber has a better tendency to break or crack. I was lucky on this piece, but it still worked out in the end. So I'm just going to put the plastic over top of these windows again. Then do the same thing on this side. But first I'm going to see if the bus fires up. Like I said, it was minus 20 whatever this morning. My brother wants me to move the bus over a little bit, so hopefully it will fire up. I'll move the bus over and I'll continue working. So see you shortly. Apparently I forgot to hit record again. I finished the passenger side framing and I also put the plastic back on the windows. Here's what that looks like. Just hasn't been a good day for me today. As you can tell by the silence, I did not get the bus started. I don't know what's wrong. I think the batteries are that dead that it doesn't want to start. But anyway, that's what the framing looks like for now. This curved part is going to be a 2x2 infill. Then the last part of the ceiling here, I'm going to put in as 1x2. I don't know if it'll make a difference or not, but that's just the way I'm going to do it. Sorry for the tone I'm using right now. I'm just sort of frustrated that the bus isn't running. It's just been a long day of not much happening. Just a lot of frustration. I should have had this all completely framed out by now, but what can I do? It's just aggravating. Anyway, I don't know if I'll continue or not. I have the battery charger on the bus right now, so who knows. I'm going to give that another 10 minutes. If it doesn't work, I'm going to call it quits. I'm just exhausted. So this could be it for now, or I could see you again, or I could see you in a little bit. Have a good one.